Hey guys, coldbrew here. Welcome back to another King Arthur Legends Rise video. Thank you to Netmarble and King Arthur Legends Rise for sponsoring today's video in the channel. You will find a download link below in the description and comments of today's video. So check that one out if you have not checked out the game. The game looks great. It's amazing. It's one of the best games in the genre. And I will say it offers unique playstyle and just graphics, everything that you're looking for out of a game that can keep you entertained and get your mind rolling, because it is not an easy game, guys. Let's get this video started. I want to cover how gearing affects the heroes within this game, how each hero can be built differently depending on their role and what you want them to be doing. I am not an end game player. I'm at only level 52 of my account, so I've progressed through the beginner part of the game, going into the mid game hopefully, and just trying to push as much as possible, being a free-to-play player. I do not have any additional resources given to me by the developers. I do not have not purchased anything here that can give me an advantage in order to progress through and just have everything set up for me. But I did get lucky with some summons, guys. I did pick up Bedivere. He's one of the best damage dealers in the game. He does insane amounts of damage. I also have Gillian right here, who is namely the best healer once she gets her good relic. And I also have Guinevere, okay, Guinevere right here as a support. So basically these four legendaries, Bedivere, Morgan, Gwilyn, and Guinevere, can do a lot of work once you start gearing them up completely. The most effort I put in is to Bedivere, okay? If you're somebody who's just starting out or is trying to progress through the beginner stages of the game, you're basically pushing your K to the max. And that's what I've been doing. That's how I've initially looked at my account, using K wherever possible and having her at Chivalry 10 immediately. That has allowed me to progress through significantly, and it's a definite solid investment to even give her a vigor set. Because of the amount of vigor you require to be spamming that A3 with that skill 3 with K throughout. Okay. Ideally, though, you'll be progressing through and pushing your gear as much as possible, and that takes some time. And of course, gearing in this game, I've noticed, is really difficult, and especially changing the stats on gear, which you can do through the forge right here. You can change the stats of your items, the substats, and make them, if you get lucky, more powerful. Okay. You can also equipment craft, but it is very difficult to equipment craft specifically. You can farm for equipment, but as with these games, it is a lot of random luck. So let me show you on how I've equipped my attacker. For example, my nuker, as we call them in this game. They nuke out, they do deal a lot of damage, and that is where Bedivere comes into play. I want to have him to do as much damage as possible. So for now, for the beginner to mid-game stage, I've tried to equip him with an attack set, giving me more attack. Critical strike set, because I want to crit. He buffs himself up by 40% crit if you check on his passives, and that basically allows him to do a lot of damage. Okay, ideally later on you'll use like a crit damage set or a damage set to boost his damage up, but that is when you have extreme stats on your account. So what you want to be looking for your damage dealer is a mixture of crit rate, crit damage, and attack percent, if possible, on every single item. That is an insane ask, insane, because it's completely random on how you'll get these, and it costs a lot of gold to be upgrading these items. So make sure you're not upgrading randomly your items, as I did maybe a little bit at the start, because it costs a lot of gold, and gold is not easy. It's a big bottleneck. You need it for upgrading everything in this game. So gear, buildings, and the list goes on. So even crafting needs a little bit of gold. So it's one of the bottlenecks in the game. So you're looking for crit rate, crit damage. All the other stats that you can have are of course useful, but not ideal when you're building out your damage dealer. Helmet, chest piece, boots, they cannot change the top stat that you get. So attack, defense, health, you cannot change that. For the necklace, earrings, and ring, you can have different stats depending on the rank of the item, but I will talk only about the 4-star or higher, where that's where the real stats come into play. And I'm not even going to say about 6 stars, because I don't even have 6-star gear. I'm gonna talk about 4-star gear. 4-star gear for now. Maybe a little bit of 5-star I do have, but that's the way to go. Okay, so there's this page right here. I'll show you where it basically states all the stats of your items that you can roll and the rates for rolling those. So if I'll give you an example, so for your earrings, which is a good place to start looking for those high-end stats, is crit rate can roll there, crit damage can roll there, attack percent can roll there. For somebody like Bedivere, I would say crit rate and crit damage is insanely good. Crit rate, especially because you want to be critting, you're doubling your damage basically based on your crit damage also. So you want to be enhancing your damage as much as possible, but getting these is like 11% chance. So getting this from just crafting means insane amount of crafting done to get like a 4-star or higher going. And it can take time. It can take time to get that critical rate going. For me, work in progress, but I'm getting there, guys. I'm getting there. Same thing goes for necklace. I would say attack percent is crucial here, but some heroes might need effect accuracy, but I'm gonna call that in a little bit when we go over supports. Okay, then we have the ring, where I would say attack percent is really nice and attack speed is really nice for Bedivere, but those stats depend on your overall speed, and I'll talk about that in a second. Then we also have the belt, orb, and banner. So belt, orb, and banner. So for the belt, I would say attack is great. Then for orb, you can go hit accuracy or attack speed, depending on if you're lacking attack speed. You can get flat attack also, but I would say hit accuracy is best, I imagine. I'm still not sure what hit accuracy means. Basically like dodging, but I'm not sure if it works on bosses. It does work on some areas of the game, but on bosses, I think with higher levels, they have a higher chance to cause you to miss your attack, I believe. So for banner, the keepsake that you have here, you want to have crit rate, crit damage, or pierce. So pierce is how much of the defense you can ignore, and I would say pierce is the more end game stat. Crit rate is where you're trying to get into, you know, having good amount of crit rate on your damage dealer, and then crit damage is just as good if you go crit rate already. But pierce, I would say, is the end game stat on your banner and the most difficult to get. And this goes on the list for every single stat in the game that you can have. I'll try to put this link down below as well in the description of today's video, so that you guys can have access to and make your playstyle a little bit better. So as you can see, that's how I've built him. So attack there, attack percent. I was trying to get critical rate, but that's how it goes. Attack there. I have attack speed on my orb, attack speed on my ring, and then on my banner I've got HP, but it does have crit damage and attack percent here. Trying to get more orbs and banners to change these stats, but I'm also having the strive set, which gives me 100% attack gauge when I do kill an enemy, attack increase for the rest of the battle, and also drains a percentage of damage health. This is every 2 turns. When the target dies, you can actually heal up. So that is pretty cool, but doesn't really work on prolonged fights. There's not enough stuff to kill. so it is good for, I would say, PvP to recover a little bit of health and also get that increased attack and attack gauge up. So these are the stats on my damage dealer. So for supports, the thing becomes a little bit easier. I would say vigor set is very crucial here. For supports, I have vigor and health for now on my Morgan, trying to reach as much attack speed as possible while also pushing effect accuracy, which I am trying, guys, but it's not as easy when you are pushing speed and also you are pushing the vigor set. Okay, so vigor set, why is it so strong? Because it gives you the natural vigor of +1 on the vigor that you already get when you do take a turn and you don't do your default first attack. You only get 1 vigor. So when you have the vigor set, you get 2, basically allowing you to spam your second skill with your heroes without removing vigor from the rotation, and this allows you to do proper rotations for the most part in many areas of the game. So that is how I've built my Morgan. And then for my healer Gillian, that also can deplete attack gauge, I went on a similar way with the vigor set, but also a little bit of attack speed and more effect accuracy for that attack gauge depletion. That is what I've basically tried to do. I'll show you these heroes in action. And basically for my support Guinevere, I went for life and vigor. Didn't look into deeply in changing her stats, let's say for more effect resistance, or giving her a little bit more speed so she gets through and applies the shield quicker. But for now, I would say your damage dealer and Morgan are the crucial pieces, okay, for building your account. So here is Bedivere with the attack percent, critical strife. I'll show them in action in just a second. And then we have Morgan with pretty fast attack speed here, on the orb. And then we have attack speed as much as possible on the substat on different pieces that I do have. So attack speed rolls and attack speed wherever I can to get that attack speed a little bit higher. The highest I've seen was a screenshot over on Reddit. I think that was 300 attack. That was quite insane. And then another way to boost your stats overall is your account power, account combat power. When you get to tier 21, you get a +5 here on attack speed. That is a solid boost to all of your account. But this is basically just leveling up random stuff, which is what I've done. Leveling up even, you know, heroes that you're not using to 20, giving them some random pieces of gear, as you can see here, to make them stronger. So that's, I would say, also part of gearing, because it's one of the main goals you want to have when building out your account. So with this sort of build that I've done, we'll have a look at how much damage we can do in this fight. So we're trying to go first always. So ideally my Morgan here is going to go first, and then my Bedivere would drop in with the damage and try to take out some of them. We'll see on how that actually goes though. We got a miss there. Yeah, that's the hit accuracy, I guess. And here it goes, how the fight is going to go. So once Bedivere actually gets a kill, that Strife set will actually allow him to get basically an immediate extra turn. And that really just changes up on how the fight is going to go. But we'll see. The enemy K is looking pretty strong. And I would say for K, you would build her in a similar way. Maybe more critical strike sets if you're not running a Vigor set. So I wish he didn't target their K out of all these targets. We'll see. So my Morgan's going to go next. We lost one, but it's fine. Once we can get some damage through on that enemy Morgan, I think we're gonna be good. Gonna see how this goes though. There we go. We get that extra turn there from the Strife set. We did kill Morgan. The enemy K is gonna go crazy, and that is basically gearing. You see the tremendous amount of power that you get, and the Vigor sets giving you that extra vigor on all your other heroes. So I have 3 Vigor sets here for this team setup, and basically have my Bedivere getting that extra turn from the Strife set, the complete Strife set, which is pretty end game actually to get that to get all the way there. So the enemy here was level 57. I'm level 52. I'm having a real easy time with PvP, at least on the power that I am at, because of the gearing that I have. And of course with PvP you don't have to struggle so much with fighting these teams, as long as you've got the proper setups going and you set up your heroes working correctly. So understanding how chivalry affects your heroes, how gearing affects your heroes, helps you push a little bit further in the game, and just makes things easier. For now, I still have a long way to go for my equipment upgrades. As I've mentioned in the video, I'm looking for critical strike here to get this going. I'm looking for attack percent here, and then maybe switching this to attack percent. If I'm going to be running the attack speed here, I should be switching this to attack percent instead, because I don't need that incredible amount of speed. I'd rather have just sheer damage on my Bedivere. But work in progress, lots of gear to go through, and the game goes on, right? So check out the game, guys. King Arthur Legends Rise. Download link in the description and comments of today's video, as well as the link on the stat rolls and all of that if you want to check that one out. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you to Netmarble for sponsoring today's video. I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.